Hey, Bridge Kids families. It's me, Pastor Brad, and I just kind of wanted to share with you. As I got up this morning, I was thinking about just discussions in the home and how do we talk with our kids through this. And I looked through quite a few articles this morning and really tried to find some common themes and points that all the articles were sharing. So I felt like I can net it out for you here as you want to just discuss with your children about coronavirus and what's going on. And so hopefully these will help you just give some points. And so I'm breaking it up really into two sections. One is about just talking with your child, and then two are things that you can be doing. So I'm going to jump in real quick with talking with your child. So one of the points that was made was follow your child's lead. So some kids may want to spend some time talking, but if your kid uh, doesn't have a lot of questions or doesn't seem interested, that's okay. But be checking in on those kids who maybe aren't expressing a lot of questions or interest about it. But just make yourself available for them. Check in with them every once in a while. Are you doing okay? Is there anything that you heard or maybe you want to talk about? But those are ways that you can stay in touch with that child. Another one was ask questions geared to your child's age level. And it's just basically talking about if you have an older child, you may ask some questions around, hey, what did you hear in school? Now knowing that they're out of school, but maybe what are they seeing online or hearing from their friends? And then if they're a younger child, maybe it's, have you heard anything from other adults or have you heard about grown-ups talking about a sickness or something? That just gives you a chance also really just to see what your kids know, and then to a chance for you to kind of correct any kind of misinformation that they have heard. Another idea is focusing on helping your child feel safe, but be truthful. So don't offer too much information that maybe your child's interested in. I know that's always a hard one for me. I tend to want to just share everything, but sometimes sharing everything is not going to be super helpful. And then just giving them space to share their fears, and don't minimize any of their fears, but just help them, listen to them, express their fears, acknowledge those fears, and then just kind of talk and walk them through. Um, if they ask you a question you don't know the answer to, then say so. Say, I don't know the answer to that, but let's go look together. That's something maybe we can learn about together. And what a great point that even when we kind of go through spiritual things, our kids are going to have questions that we don't know the answer to. And so making up answers just to appease them is not a great way of doing it, but saying, I don't know, is such a great thing for our kids to see. And then following that up with, let's go find out together. Talk about things that are happening to help people keep people safe and healthy. And so young kids may be reassured to know that hospitals and doctors and scientists and people are working around the clock to treat people who are sick, to help prevent people from getting sick. And so there are a lot of helpers right now. And I love this quote that Mr. Rogers had said before. He said, when I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping. What an awesome thing. So we can be pointing our kids to say, there's a lot of people helping right now. So help them through that. So here's some actions. Second part we were talking about, some actions that you can be doing as a family. And so try to maintain a normal routine. Well, normal is kind of out the window right now with schools being closed and people working from home, but maybe a new normal. Kids thrive off of kind of predictability. And so right now things aren't very predictable. So try to establish a new normal routine with them. Help them really kind of build in a new routine. So for little ones, also allow them plenty of time to adapt to a new routine and a new system. So taking small steps to help our kids regain some sort of normalcy will help them cope more effectively. Uh, as part of your routine, maybe you think through, like maybe you carve out a certain time for shutting down the internet, or maybe it's doing a devotion together. So, hey kids, at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, we're gonna spend 30 minutes doing a devotion with each other. Great resources on YouVersion app on devotions. There are plans out there if you just search under kids. It's a great way just to find something to walk with your kids through. Another suggestion made is make a calendar, perhaps with pictures, a daily calendar that just shows like at this time we're going to do this, and this time we're going to do this, and at this time we're going to go for a walk, we're going to exercise together, we're going to do something. But just having that intentionality and that predictability that the kids can see and kind of know that this is what's coming next. Talking about shutting down um, the internet in your home or TV. So another thing has been monitoring and limiting media exposure. This one only makes sense in light of like if you turn on news and are watching that constantly. It's not been a source of like great good news recently. So just try to limit your children's time in hearing the news, and then limiting just their amount of time streaming, watching TV. I know that right now it's a great babysitter because we are having to work and we're having to figure out what do we do with our kids, but just be intentional again of, hey, you know what? Between the hours of 2 and 3 or 3 and 4, we're going to shut down all internet, and we're going to figure out something that we can do instead of just watching something all the time. Last couple here. Pray not only for the people who are affected with the virus, and our families and our friends. Of course, those are people we should be praying for, but be praying for God to really give you a sense of peace and courage through this. Be praying for wisdom for our leaders, our presidents, our Congress people who are making decisions right now in such an uncertain and different time. So be praying for wisdom for those folks. Also, fill their mind with God's truth. Going back to devotions. An effective way to battle anxiety and fear is through Scripture. I'll post a couple of scriptures that you can share with your kids. Have them write them down. Maybe cut them out and put them on a mirror or something in their bathrooms. But just help use Scripture to really help calm their minds. So, also another great idea is just filling your house with worship music. Tell Alexa to play worship music. So just another great way that we can just continue to point our kids to Jesus is through worship music. And I love this one. This is a good tangible one as well. Be Jesus to your friends and neighbors. So while we may be afraid and even sad, we can extend hope just beyond this world. This is going to create opportunities to just share the hope and the good news of Jesus. And we can be the hands and feet by doing things. We are taking food to schools and to families in needs, but also just being there for your immediate neighbors, the people that God has placed you in and around right now. Just what a great way to share with them. Parents, I love you. I'm pulling for you. I'm praying for you. I'm praying for your children. I can't wait to be in touch with them. I'll be continuing to add some videos onto our YouTube channel and onto Facebook. But just look forward to being on a Sunday at Southbridge with you again soon. All right. Love you guys.